Welcome back to Peril Pending, and today we're looking at the reaction to Andy Burnham's first speech as PM. As I stated yesterday, I popped off and had a look at that little speech Burnham gave, and well, you know, I wasn't really impressed. I wasn't not impressed either. He said something about make politics work for people, and that people are fed up with politicians. All the usual stuff. It wasn't really anything inspiring in my opinion. But for me, that would be the same regardless of who's in the position. It could have been Keir. It could have been, Boris, Liz, Rishi. God, it could be Zach Polanski. Could even be Farage, and I wouldn't give a hoot because they're all just going to say what they think the people want to hear. I'm more of an actions guy, so until he's actually done something, I'm not really going to have much of an opinion on the guy, and I'm sure a lot of you will be the same. Do leave a comment down below if you think any differently. But what I do have is a lot of the hilarious reactions coming from the usual suspects. I saw quite a few people criticise him for not having a podium, which is wild because first off, who cares? And second of all, a lot of the people that were criticising him for not having a podium seem to forget that their hero Margaret Thatcher also didn't always use a podium. So that was kind of a funny one. And then of course, there's the tweets and the headlines. The first one you can see on the screen here. This is from the Daily Mail, of course. Burnham doesn't speak for us, say voters in the South. Yeah, because I guess somehow the Daily Mail did the largest and fastest polling of everybody in the South because, that paper wouldn't be able to run without division. Of course, CCHQ Press put one out. Burnham claims to be doing things differently, but no matter who the leader is, Labour MPs want to raise taxes to fund benefits. Only the Conservatives have the credible plan and the united team to get Britain working again. I mean, a little ludicrous, considering we're in a lot of this mess because of the 14 years of Conservative rule, but that's politics. Never admit your mistakes. And of course, we all knew he was going to say this. Nigel Farage. Andy Burnham cannot be allowed to make the biggest changes in politics for 40 years without a mandate. We need a general election now. From the guy who's currently not even an MP and is a leader of reform, but nobody voted for him. He didn't just end there, though. He also said that what we've witnessed today should be troubling for anybody who likes democracy, and he's calling this a coup. This guy is desperate. Once again, remember, nobody in Reform UK voted for Nigel Farage to be the leader. Okay? Rules for thee, not for me. But remember, he's not part of the establishment. Of course, his good little lapdog, Richard Tice, retweeted him, again calling for a general election. Zia Youssef, the unelected bureaucrat of Reform UK, again calling for a general election. Layla Cunningham, once again, now saying that we've reached a point where governments are imposed on us rather than chosen by us. We did choose a Labour government, so I don't know what Layla Cunningham's going on about there. Also, again, like the broken record, I just need to create a soundbite for this, really. Nobody in Reform UK voted for Nigel Farage to be their leader. But out of all of these, because we always knew they were going to say we need a general election, but out of all of these, my favourite comes from Lee Anderson. Last night and this morning, it looks like he was doing the rounds across a few news channels. We've got a clip here from GBB's, and I mean, I can see they've finally swapped him out for Jenrick. Jenrick wasn't that good, but Lee's not any better. Give this a listen.
It's the same old people. All it's done, it's a shuffle. Just shuffled the same old faces around. Some of those faces have been around that place for donkey's years, and that's all it is. It's the same people. It's a bit like having a failing football team, guys, and all you do is just swap the positions of the players. So I don't really recognise any new places in the odd one, to be honest. But like I said to you yesterday, the problem that Andy Burnham's got is he may set off with with good intentions, but he's got the same 400 backbench MPs behind him. And if they don't want him to do something, he won't be allowed to do it.
Just a reminder, because, Lee raises an arguably good point, although I personally don't believe so, about there being a football team. The same old faces, sorry. Just a reminder, every single high-ranking member of Reform UK is a ex-Tory who was part of the previous government that got us into this mess. But yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Once again, rules for thee, not for me. It's fine for ex-Tories to continue. Another one this week moved over to continue moving to Reform UK. They're apparently different players now, just because they've changed their kit, to use another football analogy. Absolutely ridiculous from Lee. And he didn't end there. There was another clip from Talk TV where, once again, he makes different but just as hilariously bad takes.
The main thing here for me is he's announced this biggest change in politics for 40 years, and also he's going to draft up this 10-year plan. Look, he wasn't the Labour government wasn't elected on this. If he's going to come up with something as huge as a 40-year plan or a change in politics, then surely he has to do the right thing and ask the British public to vote for it. If he's as confident in these policies and these plans as he says he is, then surely, if it's a good thing, the British public will vote for it. But he knows that they won't.
Yep. Well, Lee knows about as much as everybody else on what this new plan's going to be. There isn't anything yet. So it could very well just be picking up on points in the manifesto that people voted on. And that's what it should be. Obviously, we don't know what it is just yet. But the point, again, about him saying the public need to vote on this. The public didn't vote for this. The public need a voice on this. Well, it's really funny because, once again, nobody voted for Nigel Farage to be leader of Reform UK. Nobody voted for Lee Anderson to actually be an MP for Reform UK. Same goes for Jenrick. Same goes for Suella Braverman. They're all defecting, and then they're not holding a by-election. Apparently, it's fine for them to do that because, well, there is a third clip of Lee Anderson from LBC this morning, and, well, he's asked just this, and, well, let's see if you can come to the same conclusion I did.
On emails, if you're so keen, then why won't you let the people of Newark perhaps have their say about their sitting MP, or Robert Jenrick, or Waterlooville's Suella Braverman? Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, well, they said that about me, Nick, just a few years back. Why doesn't Lee Anderson have a by-election? And I said it's a complete waste of money because it'll cost a few grand, and I'll win my seat again quite easily. So, and I did, and I increased my vote share. I'm sure that Rob and Suella, and they're very well respected in those areas as well. You know, they've got huge personal votes, as Rob and Suella. I know that I've campaigned in both areas. So let's put that to bed once and for all, and let's crack on with us being actually, although we're not the official opposition, we are the main opposition in the House of Commons.
Yeah, so once again, rules for thee, not for me. This doesn't make any sense. We'll get to the main point, which I'm sure you're all typing away at the bottom. Please do leave it below. But if it's absolutely fine for you to just hold that position and for your colleagues to hold that position, despite the fact that nobody voted for you, you just believe that they would definitely vote for you, well, then that logic can be used for Andy Burnham. Oh, no. I know you've just said we need to put this plan to the people, but no, Burnham's just actually said that the people would vote for it anyways, so there's no need. You can take his word on it. But the main point in that last little clip is that he was calling a potential by-election a waste of taxpayers' money. Is he not aware that his current leader is doing exactly that in Clacton? His current leader, who is calling for a general election, isn't actually a member of Parliament at the minute because he's having to run up against a bin because he called a by-election a complete waste of money of a by-election. Honestly, there has got to be... All you've got to do is create a WhatsApp group, just to keep you all on the same wavelength. You seem to got the message about calling for a general election, and then you go and pull a stunt like this. Jeez. Lee Anderson, Robert Jenrick, Leila Cunningham, Zia Youssef, Richard Tice, or even Nigel Farage. It doesn't matter which of them goes out in front of the camera, they all just spout absolute rubbish. And it's all so very funny. But those are just my thoughts. Please leave yours in the comments section down below, and I'll catch you next time while the peril's still pending.